Gail is reopening the bar in town. Jivin Pete keeps letting her down. But bad gas travels fast. The Hicks put Pete on blast. Meanwhile, the Skids turn into clowns.
It's Thirsty Thursday, and that means we are once again hanging out at the Produce Stand, a podcast paying tribute to the great Canadian show, Letterkenny. Now, I know what you're thinking. There are many other podcasts about Letterkenny out there, but this one won't take the side door. We'll come right up the front and knock. I am your Al. Oh, it's going to be one of those nights. I am Al, your host. And joining me in the room, as always, is the lovely Tanya.
I am your Tanya.
And on... Oh, man. Yes, thanks. And online we have Squirrely Matt and the vexatious Victor.
I'm your Venom.
Yes, let's open these up right now. So I use vexatious not because, I think I've used the vexatious before, but I use it again in this episode because the word actually comes up in the episode. So I had to use it again.
Nice.
So today's lineup is going to be Matt, Tanya, Victor, Al. So Matt, let's start with you. How was your week?
So I'm gonna start that with to letting you know that last time I counted, we have 67 houseplants in our house. That was the last time I counted.
67?
What the hell?
Yeah, that was the last time I counted. And honestly,
really
it actually looks really good, but I'll tell you how many I actually take care of. It's a big zero. So this week, my wife is doing a lot of cleaning to, just renewing some of the soil in them, maintaining them. But, it's an ongoing joke that I really don't have a fucking clue what's going on in our household. So she asked me to put them all back, which I laughed because as if I'm going to know where each one went. But what I realized, I've learned from this whole experience of all these houseplants is that I think she actually likes to fuck with me because she'll get a new plant and then sit down and ask me, hey, babe, what do you think of the new plant? Knowing very well I have no fucking idea which plant in the room is the new one. Just so she can wait for me. You know that scene from Indiana Jones: The Last Crusade where he's picking the chalice, and it's like you have to choose wisely. I choose poorly, just so she can then tell me, "Do you even fucking live here?" And so that was basically my week.
Those are her children.
Yes. Does she have a name for each one? Does she name them? No.
Does she talk to them?
No. She yells at me for not knowing they're there.
Yeah. All right. Well, then, what do you say? How much can you actually love them if you don't even know their names?
No. There's just one we call Money Tree. Apparently it's a money tree.
Yeah, we have one of those, don't we?
No, we do not.
Oh, I thought we did. I don't know.
See? You don't have a clue either. You only got two.
Plants are green. That's all I know. And I think we have one or two in the house that are just like clinging on to life. Like we're not green thumb people either.
Oh God, no. How
was your week, Tanya?
My week is going really good, actually. I can say good this week. The U.S. has a holiday, which is always nice for me to catch up on work. And the renovation's going well. And tonight we had our first glimpse at high school, preparing for high school for our oldest, which is pretty scary. But, the adventure's begun and we'll see where that goes.
Yeah. So, your job involves you dealing mostly with American clients, and that's why you're happy that today's Thanksgiving. By the way, happy Thanksgiving to, as Jonathan Torrens put it, South Canadians. I love that.
Yeah, that's so good.
Yes.
I think I've heard a lot of American references to the opposite and calls like North Montanans or some of that.
So to all you South Canadians down there, happy Thanksgiving. Victor, how was your week?
Yeah, week's good. Days are flying by. I feel like, I don't know. I just like each day just flows into the next, and it's like, oh, it's Thursday again. Another week of, done in my life, I guess.
How's Pumpkin?
I don't know. Pumpkin's been. I don't know if I talked about this before. It's like the movie Awakenings.
Yes.
So yeah. So she's still in her victory lap. Like she's doing things that she's never done before. And awesome. So I don't know how long it's going to last.
I'm picturing Jack Palance doing one-handed push-ups at the Oscars.
Well, yeah. I mean, she's been running up and down the stairs and visiting and with everybody in the house and making sure there's lots of quality time.
Oh, wow.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so we're enjoying it. Also, so when we started working from home, I had a work computer, and my wife, she's got a computer at work, but at home she's using our home computer for every day now, and it died. It just died. There was no way to revive it. I'm pretty tech savvy, and this thing is dead. So I had to pivot quickly, and we ordered a new one. So I was a little busy with that. So we got a new. So I figured, you know what? If she's going to use a computer 24/7 for I don't know how much longer, I went with kind of a more of an industrial. So we got a ThinkPad, which typically would get at work. So it's not as kind of cool.
No, but they're workhorses. They last.
Yeah, they're workhorses. Yeah, exactly. So anyway, so we got that, and so I was a little busy with that. And even though there was all this train activity on our Twitter board or whatever we're calling that thing,
on the line,
on
the internet, I've been spending a little more quality time with my guitar and
good.
Learned,
we need some video.
Yeah. So learning some new tunes and all that jazz. So good week.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. My week's been highly unproductive work-wise because way too much exciting stuff's been happening upstairs. Tomorrow is actually basically the last day of our reno. As of tomorrow, the contractors are all done. We do have on Monday, or hopefully scheduled on Monday, we have some people coming in just to add some blown insulation to our attic. But other than that, as of tomorrow, it should all be done, and we can start cleaning and moving back upstairs on the weekend. So that's very exciting. We can't wait. I'll share some maybe before and after photos later, so people can finally see what we've been talking about. Today we learned about a couple of the local high schools, open houses, so that to find out where Owen's going to go.
Virtual open houses.
Yeah, they were
only COVID style.
I swear to God, I look at these presentations and I'm like, man, if I worked for these high schools, they're dry as can be. PowerPoint presentations, they're pretty, pretty basic.
Terrible.
Yeah, pretty dry. I mean, Owen was falling asleep half the time.
So wait, you went to a virtual for more than one high school?
Well, so the one Catholic school that he's likely going to, because that's where all his friends are going, had theirs tonight. And then when it ended, we just looked online to see like if any of the other, because there's 3 others that he could go to nearby to see if any of them had any.
I didn't have no options.
No,
I was like, this is your school.
No. We have 4 or 5 options that he can go to. One Catholic, and then the others are public schools. But they each have kind of different. Like one has a really strong technical program, another one has a really strong arts program, and another one is just known for all its drug addicted teenagers. So he probably won't be going to that one.
Yeah, we.
I just assumed that would have been the Catholic school.
No, well, maybe, but no, not anyway.
Not in this situation.
Yeah. So that's been the week. Let's hear from our sponsor, Dennis Gugin, the owner and proprietor of Dennis Gugin's custom Funko Pop Culture collectible vinyl figures. If you don't know what a Funko Pop is, figure it out. For the rest of you, check out Dennis's work. He creates custom Funko Pop characters of anyone you can think of. Some of my favorites of his include Eddie Van Halen, Mike Tyson, Eminem, and the entire cast of Letterkenny. And you. That's right. You can have your own custom Funko Pop of someone you love or hate if that's your kink. Either way, Dennis is your man. Check out his work on Facebook or Instagram at DG Pop Customs. Drop him a line if you're interested in a custom Funko Pop of your own. Recently, Dennis reached 1,000 likes on Facebook, and he credits Letterkenny fans. So I think maybe his little sponsorship with us is working out for him. He posted a picture of all of his Letterkenny Funko Pop characters. They look amazing. And he's also, I don't know if you guys have been getting any kind of sneak previews of the ones he's making of us. I've seen I've seen mine, and I'm so excited to get it. And he's shown me the one he did of Victor. I don't know if you've seen it yet, Victor, but it looks good.
Yeah, I've seen one yet.
And I haven't seen any of the others, I haven't seen any of the others. So he's shown me the one of me as Wayne and also me as a lead singer, and I love them both. I can't wait to get them.
Nice.
All right.
Yeah, I can't wait to see my second alter ego.
Yeah. So thank you, Dennis, for the support. And speaking of support, we have 46 new Twitter followers. So sit back, folks, and relax. Here we go. Welcome to JR North of 60, Mr. Fraser, from the Nature Coast, Laura Borealis from Edmonton, Horrible Gameplay, Angela Smith from Mattonsburg, West Virginia, Bob Brickley from Cleveland, Ohio, D, in debt to my swear jar. I love that name. Patrick Smith, Anna L. Yes, I know what that looks like, and I'm not gonna say it. Is on the naughty list? The dad version of Christopher, King Booty from Omaha Swamp. What do you mean it's not awesome? A. Will Schaffnacker, Letterkenny fan account from Oregon. Nicole Nutbag Poster from Fair Oaks, California.
You can say that one.
I wonder if they like us and then change their name just so they can hear me say crazy shit like this. Eloria 88 from Washington, NorCal Earth Creature from San Jose, Xavier from Austin, Sydney Battle from New York City but currently in LA, Seth at Hugo's their podcast from Hillsboro, Oregon, Assorted Goods podcast from London, Ontario. We're getting a lot of podcasts following us now. Sarah from Kenosha, Wisconsin, Snugs 15, Luke Taylor from Westwood, Nick from just off the A174, Benton Quest PhD from Palm Key, Florida. I'm Trying from South Carolina. Danielle Silva from Albuquerque, New Mexico. Dan Mount from New York. Brick from Portland, Oregon. April, my Roman numerals here, XIV 14, I believe. At April 14 from Lost at Sea. Stephen Wilson from Birmingham, Alabama.
You're smarter than a fifth grader.
There you go. Alex from the Ace and Alex Detective Agency podcast. Deanno Jarman, The Last Yate Man. Bailey Moon from Washington, D.C. At Goth Spice 666 from Lawndale. Rough Shape. Detroit Kitty from Detroit. Stop. Let me finish this. I got 4 more to go. Chris Rao from Centerville, Ohio. Rob Retro Wright from the UK. Sarge the Destroyer from Boston, Massachusetts. And Josu Keiko.
Oh.
Welcome all. Thank you for following us on Twitter and hopefully for listening to the podcast.
I love the emphasis you put on some of those. Detroit Kitty.
It would have been more fun if Detroit Kitty was from Windsor.
Oh, man. Yeah.
Well, don't bore us. Get to the chorus.
Last week, we reviewed episode 2, season 3, Puck Bunny. That episode got a fresh rating from Matt and myself and a clearance from Victor and Tanya, figure it out. Twitter agreed with Matt and I, of course, with an overwhelming 81.3% giving it a fresh and the rest giving it a clearance with Victor and Tanya. This week, we recap and review episode 3 of season 3, Modean's 2. Matt, have you done your homework?
Yes, I have.
Tanya, have you done your homework?
Yes, sir.
And Victor, have you done your homework?
I did indeed.
Awesome. All right, so here we go. We start with the cold opening. At the farm, Wayne and Squirrely Dan are giving Derry shit for licking his lips after firing a snot rocket, calling him a degen.
Well, last time I checked, nothing up there that can't hurt me.
Correct, big shooters. Snots is actually your body's garbage removal systems. When you breathe in, your nose hairs collects all sorts of dusts and debris, including bacteria and viruses. That's your body's way of removing them from you. That's what snots is.
Dust and debris, viruses and what? Figured it.
You're getting rid of that dust and debris intranasally, and then you're just taking it right back in orally.
Well, you can both take it anally. That's all I give a care about.
You better settle down over there. I'm going to come talk to you.
And speaking of taking things analies, Squirrely Dan has a question of the personals varieties, but Wayne tries to change the subject, saying that there's no such thing, that there's such a thing as too much butt talk, and a fella ought to be fucking aware of it. Squirrely Dan insists he's got a problem and he needs his friend's counsel. Derry quotes one of the Hicks golden rules: a man asks for help, you help him.
You guys remembers that gals I took to the chip trucks last summer?
Fuck's sake. The one that put her finger in your bum?
Mind your fucking beeswax, Derry.
That's the one, Derry.
It's impolite to kiss and tell, Dan.
Well, I knows it's impolite to kiss and tells, but...
No buts.
Actually, this involves a significant but.
Or hers or yours?
I'm gonna take a fucking migraine here.
Squirrely Dan goes on with the painful description of his predicament.
Anyways, she was asking me about performance the anal sex on her. You guys ever do that?
Wayne and Derry say they haven't. Squirrely Dan says that Professor Tricia's from his women's study group says it's quite common to enter through the back door. But she didn't stress whether or not it was natural. The Hicks go on to use visual aids in the form of baked goods to describe the feeling from what they've heard.
So what you're saying is, it's less like going inside this Long John Silver's here, and more like going inside this honey cruller here.
Correct. It's less like going inside this loaf of bread, more like going inside this bagel.
Wayne's?
No.
Derry?
Answer still no.
But I have been told that it's less like going inside this wheel of brie cheese and more like going inside this piece of Swiss cheese.
Oh, I love Swiss cheese.
I love honey crullers.
And cue the music. All right, let's start with this cold open.
Should
Matt.
we just like bypass this one?
What?
This is gonna get uncomfortable.
Why?
This is gonna get uncomfortable.
Well, not
All
if
right.
you overshare. Anyway, Matt.
Oh, I loved it, man.
Yeah.
I loved it. I'm starting to feel like Derry and Wayne are much more of a prudes than Mr. Squirrely there. I love his openness to talk about anything, and he just
there's a reason he's called Squirrely. I mean, that's why.
I love it. He has no shame at all, and he just opens up to his buddies, and he's like, "Let's have a chat about this, no matter how awkward it gets." And I mean, to me, this was not quite but right up there as funny as the initial conversation.
Sure.
The first time around. I fucking loved it, man. This just cracked me up from start to finish.
Tanya? I can't even look at her right now.
Why so tense? Tanya, why so tense?
It was funny. It was funny. We'll just say that.
Okay, we're gonna move on from that. Victor.
It was.
Oh my goodness! Did they make it clear? Was were they talking about Dan's butt or her butt? I wasn't sure. I wasn't making completely
I
clear.
think that answers Victor's answer.
Yeah. No, I mean, I took it as she was asking him about,
her
this is a
butt.
really difficult topic to navigate around, but her butt.
That's why I was like, pass.
Really? I wasn't sure.
Oh no, it was pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
Well,
especially when they're getting into the vagina references.
Yeah,
they're comparing one against the other. And Dan, as far as I'm concerned, does not have a vagina.
No, using baked goods as visual.
Well, wait a second. I think he ended up having one on his mouth.
Later. Okay, well, don't get ahead of us.
My.
But anyway, I love the way Squirrely Dan explains anything. I love his explanation about the nasal passages or whatever the heck he was calling it. But he's just brilliant.
Mm-hmm.
He delivers his lines perfectly.
Mm-hmm.
There's nobody that could have done it better than him, and he's just brilliant. So he took what it was a very juvenile opening, and he sold it. So it was kind of like a part two to the to like Matt said. It was like really part two, and I thought it was all right. It was pretty good.
Yeah,
and if anything, I would say Wayne was more squirrely in this. Like whenever you get on these topics, he's the one that sort of gets uncomfortable and can't really. He just wants to escape the conversation as quickly as possible.
Did he start the whole? Did he start the whole blink, blink, blink?
Yeah, he was doing
this one?
blink, 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 and and he does his little repetition. We'll talk about that later, I'm sure. Okay, Dan, K. Okay, Dan. Like,
he's just trying to change the subject.
That's the thing he's doing now. But even like with the props, his delivery of the props was the weakest.
Wayne's? I like when with the brie cheese and like the way he says it. His I agree. It's a continuation of a reprise, if you will, of the butts talk from before, without the same physical humor. I think the first time they did it was way funnier physically. This time it was funny, but maybe not quite as funny, but for sure. All right, coming out of the intro music, we have our first scene. The models are standing shirtless in the farmhouse kitchen while the Hicks are sitting at the table glaring at them with every fiber of disgust they can muster. Katie asks if she can borrow Wayne's truck to take the models back to the city. For good? Wayne asks. Katie confirms, and so Wayne tosses her his keys. Squirrely Dan asks why she's taking them back, and Katie says, well, why don't you ask them? So he does, and the models say it's probably because they're too tubby for her. And as Katie and the models leave, Derry reminds Katie to go back to come back for the opening of Modean's 2, to which Katie responds,
"Let's get hammered, boys."
Those is acceptable terms, Miss Gaines.
And it's about time they got some sort of bar in this town. Wayne notifies the others that Gail called, says she needs a hand getting set up. They have to drive past Jivin Pete's to pick up some kegs. Wayne says they can do that without him.
Jivin's not really a goods guy anymore, is he?
No, I wouldn't call Jivin a good guy anymore.
Jivin honked his horn at Katie when she was crossing the street uptown.
Jivin shouldn't have done that.
Jivin laughed at her, too, when she jumped. He scared her.
To be fair. Jivin's pals laughed, too.
Jivin's pals shouldn't have done that.
Jivin and his pals think so much of themselves, they probably suck each other off.
We'll go pick up the kegs from Jivin's.
You want us to tell Jivin you're going to come talk to him?
You know how he feels about talkings.
You'll hear it from me.
10-4, good buddy.
Over and out.
So for those of you who are not following, Jivin Pete went from being a good guy, a really good guy, to not being very well liked right now among the Hicks. Next scene, at the Skids' lair, they're questioning their clown intruder.
Hey, girl.
Hey, boy.
Superstar DJ. Hey, here we go! Who are you?
Gay.
So am I. I didn't ask what you were, girl.
I didn't tell you what I am, boy.
Who are you?
I'm gay.
So am I.
No, you're not.
That's exactly what my father said to me. So you're in the business of opening wounds, girl?
Stop calling me girl, boy.
And what shall I call you?
Gay.
I'm the only gay in this crew! I was born this way, sure. I support you, remember?
Let me get this straight. He's a homosexual?
That's exactly what my mother said to me. The exact same way. You will delete yourself from this dwelling, girl. But not before you reveal your motive behind your vexatious streak.
Fine.
But after that, you better biz out.
My name is Gay.
That's your name. Wow. And I thought Roland's parents never gave him a chance.
And Roll hilariously storms off in tears and calls his father. And if you get a chance to listen to what he says when he calls his dad, it's pretty funny. Gay informs Stuart that her parents banished her to Letterkenny to live with her aunt because of poor behavior. She's an outcast, a deportee, a vagrant, an exile. Stuart is interested. He says that everyone in their group is some form of derelict. There seems to be some chemistry between the two. Next scene, at the hockey rink, Riley and Jonesy are in the dressing room in suits.
Listen up, you pylons.
Grab an E-plugs.
All right. Now, I know you guys may not want to hear this, but getting rid of that puck bunny is the first step towards getting a W, boys.
We'll introduce you to a couple sporty little spices down the road, boys.
But I like that sporty little spice.
Pardon?
Sorry, my bad. Boomtown.
But I like that sporty little spice.
Okay. Well, you better learn to hate her because she's the reason we have 0 W's on the season, boys.
Need that W, boys.
Gotta have that W, boys.
Gotta want that W, boys.
And the first step to getting it is
beating your opponent mentally. Gotta get inside of his head, boys.
Hockey is 90% mental, 10% skill.
Unless you're retired NHL tough guy Basil McRae, who says hockey is 50% mental, 50% being mental.
Not sure that's PC, buddy.
My favorite part of that scene is when Boomtown speaks out of turn and gets reprimanded and people don't know how to react, so they have to redo the scene. Riley says that the easiest way to get into your opponent's head is by chirping them from the bench. The seniors say they talk that talk is for schmelz, you little bitch. The only talking should be done on the scoreboard. Riley reminds them that they haven't been doing much talking on the scoreboard lately, so the seniors reluctantly agree to try it their way. Just then, Coach walks in to announce a new addition to the team, someone with jam. He leads them to the shower to meet their new teammate. There, they see someone in the shower doing handstand push-ups naked. It's Shorzy.
Fuck you, Shorzy.
Fuck you, Riley. Fight me. See what happens.
Yeah, what's gonna happen, Shorzy?
3 things. I hit you, you hit the pavement, ambulance hit 60.
It's the worst chirp I've ever heard in my entire life, Shorzy.
That's my slow-learning Mennonite uncle's favorite chirp.
Yeah, it's your mom's favorite chirp too, buddy. Ask her. See what happens.
Yeah? What's gonna happen, Shorzy?
3 things. I hit you, you hit the pavement, I fuck your mom again.
Fuck you, Shorzy.
Fuck you, Jonesy. Your mom just liked my Instagram post from 2 years ago in Puerto Vallarta. Tell her I'll put my swim trunks on for her anytime she likes.
Fuck you, Shorzy!
Fuck you, Riley. Your mom keeps trying to slip a finger in my bum, but I keep telling her I only let Jonesy's mom do that, you fucking loser.
My mom would never put my finger in your bum. Mom's a fucking saint.
Fuck your entire fucking life, you piece of shit.
Jonesy and Riley are not happy and they run off in tears. So, Shorzy, played by Jared Kiso. Wayne.
Yes.
Man, he's just an onslaught of insults, and it's so
good.
Like
it's so wrong.
It's so good. Yeah, he just and it's like it never ends. Can you imagine being pelted like that on repeat? Even when you already think you're pretty good at it, and then just him coming without missing a beat on it, and just hammering you down and down and down.
Yeah, they're at this level. Shorzy is at this level. Next scene 4 at the new Modeans 2. The Hicks bring in the kegs. Gail rewards them with some shots. Gail's jazz about the new Modeans 2.
And so Jazz couldn't sleep last night. I was up flicking more bean than a Starbucks barista.
Good enough, Gail.
I mean it. Handled more dime than a homeless man.
Where do these go?
Back door. You know you're always welcome, Wayne.
Okay.
Welcome back, Gail. Just then they hear noise in the back. Gail says she's hired a couple of waitresses. And so as she says it, from a steamy kitchen in slow motion emerges Bonnie McMurray, followed by
Glenn?
Wayne! Well, I guess the kitten's out of the clutch again. Glenn's back to waitressing.
Well, you look ordinary.
Ooh. Hear that? That's some high praise coming from Mr. Extraordinary.
Gave him a little makeover. Figured if you guys get some eye candy, old Gail is going to help herself to a fistful, too.
Gail got me LASIK, so...
Glenn's awesome. Derry and Squirrely Dan say hi to Bonnie, but Bonnie only says hi to Wayne. Then the waitresses are dismissed by Gail. Squirrely Dan and Derry say bye to Bonnie. This time, both Bonnie and Glenn say bye, but only to Wayne. Gail goes on to complain about Jivin Pete, who's turned into a bit of a tit.
Yeah, his pals too.
Well, what if you've got something to say about Jivin, you should say it to his face. Bad gas travels fast in a small town. You don't want him hearing that from somebody else. It's dishonorable.
It's a true story.
Gail proceeds to make another pass at Wayne.
Saddle up to the bar when you're done. I'll show you my new Haitian taco.
Well, I don't know if that's foods or not, but if it is, I'm looking forward to it.
It's only for Wayne.
Well, then I guess it's not foods. Well, I'm going to pencil you in for a chat, Gail, because Haitian tacos, that sounds like we got something there.
Oh, man, I love that. Derry reminisces about the time when Jivin Pete was pissing down a hay mound and Alexander got a bit of pee in his mouth. Then later, Alexander fell face first in the cow patty and got a bit of poop up his nose. That sends the Hicks into another one of their philosophical arguments.
Would you rather have a bit of pee in your mouth or a bit of poop up your nose?
And you can't spits the peas out of your mouth or blows the poops out of your nose?
I'll see Derry would just lick it off his lips after blowing it out anyway.
That's correct, Dan.
I think I'd take the poops in my nose.
But then you'd be smelling poop for the rest of your life, and poop is potent, pal.
Yeah, but if you got peas in your mouth, and every time you take some bites of food, you're going to be tasting peas.
Yeah, and you're going to have to swallow a bit of that pee every time you take a bite of food.
Do I know what? I'd take the poop. Yes, I'd take the poop.
There's no chance of ingesting the poop.
You know, I'm not a scientist or anything. That's not really my forte, but say you had the sniffles, right? And you honk one back and you get a piece of that poop right in the back of your throat. That's down the hatch.
Well, see, now it's changing the fucking rules, Derry. Before you said you're either tasting the pee or smelling the pee. Now you're saying you're tasting and smelling the pee.
Well, the pee's in your mouth and the poop's in your nose. What happens after that is beyond my control.
Well, he's right there, Wick.
So?
Okay, you know what? Okay, let's all answer at the exact same time. And a 1, and a 2, and a 1, 2, 3, pee. That's fucking gross shit.
Disgusting.
That's real fucking gross shit.
Shame on you, Derry.
Who in your nose is? Oh, no, I'd have a fucking spit.
See how squirrely he is?
Yeah, he's
like
awesome.
Wayne can't handle it. But where do you guys stand?
What? Oh yeah, good question. Yeah. I guess after a while.
That's not the question, Tanya.
After a while, you go nose blind, right? So I'd probably go with the poop, I guess.
No, you gotta go with the pee.
Pee.
Yeah, I'm with Victor on this one.
Pee is sterile. It's clean.
Definitely.
You can. It's fine. Poo is poo.
No.
It's poison.
It's like E. coli. Really? No.
Yeah.
Pee.
I'm so glad we got
Go
into
with
this
the pee.
conversation.
If you got stuck in a cave, guess what you're doing? You're drinking
pee.
So you're already used to it, so it's
Fair
easy
enough.
to transition.
Okay, anyone here watch? I know Tanya has, but the British game show called Distraction.
Oh, funny show.
Fucking
Watch it.
hilarious. YouTube it. It's an older. Like it's no longer on, but it was hosted by what was his name? Jimmy Carr, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
He's funny, man.
He's really funny. So Distraction. Here's the premise. Basically, they have 3 contestants, and they compete in a bunch of really really horrific games. And they whittled it down to one winner. But one of the games was they had to give you urine samples before the show. They thought it was for, I don't know, drug screening or something. It turns out that it was, they each had a picture of their own urine, and every time, so they would be asked questions, and every time they got a question wrong, they had to take a shot of their own urine. It's that kind of show.
No, I think it was to ring in. They had to drink.
Oh, either way.
I don't know. So it was hilarious.
It's so funny and so wrong.
And funny.
Yeah,
I highly didn't have any asparagus that day.
Highly recommend.
Oh, no.
One of the contestants says he was a little dehydrated, so his pee was extra yellow and extra smelly.
Smelly.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it's.
I don't know if I'm going to be digging for that one.
No.
You
Trust me,
have to.
it is so much fun.
They have nudists on the show,
Yeah.
and there's like a wheelbarrow race where
With
you
nudists,
have to get the nudist across the line in order to.
Oh, this is my kind of show.
Oh, it's
all
freaking
sorts
funny.
of fucked up.
They have
and so good.
what was the other one? The elastics, and you have to pull them out to the end of the ruler that's attached to their head or whatever, and then to answer, they've got to let go and slap themselves in the face with this elastic band.
It's the most
and that's how they ring it.
twisted, fucked up game show you can think
very
of,
funny.
and it's so hilariously
Go
funny
check
to
it out.
watch. You got to watch it. You got to check it out. Anyway, moving on. Scene number 5. Back at the Skids hideout, Stuart questions Gay about Devon's whereabouts.
Now, before we proceed, does thou knoweth where Devon is?
Who?
Devon?
No.
No.
Yes.
Yes?
No.
You appear felonious.
You appear erroneous.
How are we to know that you were not responsible for Devon's disappearance?
I don't know. How are you?
Still a little hurt and fragile from speaking with my father, but thank you for asking.
That's not what she's saying, Rold.
What are you saying, Stuart?
I'm just saying.
I love Rold.
As Devon fades, you materialize.
Simple math.
Child's play.
Cool movie, though I prefer Problem Child.
Same.
Rold asks what the deal is with the clown costume.
Don't you watch the news? There are clowns inflicting apprehension on the general public via sheer terrorism or petty vandalism all over North America.
So you've coalesced with some sort of continental intercolonial clown posse.
I'm a bad seed. Staying out late, missing curfew, you know.
I know.
Kissing boys.
I know.
The chemistry between Gail and Stuart is palpable. Stuart asks Gail what she seeks. Gay, not Gail. Gay, what she seeks. She says she's looking for asylum. Stuart grants the asylum. Gay is there to rebel.
Give me 3 good reasons why you feel you must rebel.
I hate the world. I hate my parents. I hate myself.
As you were.
My parents banished me here for poor behavior. It is my goal to behave even worse than Letterkenny, so they have no choice but to bring me back.
Formidable.
Roll doesn't seem to approve of the chemistry between Gay and his leader. Stuart proposes the Skids need a wardrobe change. Next scene, back at the arena, the Irish are preparing for their game. Riley and Jonesy try to rally the team by giving them some chirping pointers.
Okay, boys, let's keep it simple, Ferda.
Kiss it, principal, buddy. Keep it simple, Ferda.
Repetition is the key.
Pick a topic, beat the shit out of it, Ferda.
Topic is ugly.
Fuck, are you ugly, Tutu?
You're fucking ugly, Twos.
Your ugly requires a sign, 22. Caution, fucking ugly.
Your ugly requires a disclaimer, Tutu. Parental advisory, explicit ugly.
The seniors aren't quite naturals at it. Boomtown is especially and hilariously uncomfortable with the chirping. Later, Riley and Jonesy are at the urinal discussing their progress, and just then, Shorzy starts pissing into the urinal between them from 10 feet away.
What are you pissing so close to the urinals for, you piece of shit? This is how a real man rocks a piss. Give your balls a tug, tit-fucker.
I'm coming, Shorzy!
Heard the same thing from your mom last night, bud, 7 times, and that's not even my record, you fucking loser.
What the fuck, man?
Next scene. Scene 7, outside Modean's. 2, the Hicks are helping clear the snow in the parking lot. Gail apologizes. Jivin Pete was supposed to come by with a sidewalk plow, but didn't show up. This causes Derry and Squirrely Dan to talk shit about Jivin Pete again.
Jivin's full of shits.
Yeah, him and his pals are probably sucking each other off right now.
What did I say? Bad gas travels fast in a small town. You don't want him hearing this from somebody else. It's dishonorable.
To change the subject, Derry presents another would you rather. Would you rather have a penis for a nose or a vagina for a mouth?
I think I'd have to say the vagina's mouth. It's just less intrusive.
Well, it's got to be the vagina mouth. Who wants a dink hanging down, bouncing off their lips all fucking day?
You're just walking me right into it at this point, cowboy.
Okay, okay. Let's all answer at the same time. And a 1, and a 2, and a 1, 2, 3. Vagina mouth. That's fucking gross, Dan. That's fucking disgusting.
Walking around with a mouth full of roast beef all day.
Hey, you've never had a dick bouncing off your lips. Don't knock it till you try that.
Fuck's sake.
Oh, man. I love when they do that. Okay, everyone answer at the same time, 1, 2, 3, and then the answer comes out and they're like, oh, you're disgusting, you're gross, you're...
It's so perfect.
Scene 8, back at the Skids hideout. They're dressed in their new clown uniforms.
From this moment forward, we are a collective.
A confab.
A conclave.
A clam bake.
We are... Fuck you. Freaks acting crazy.
United.
Next scene, scene 9. The Skids go out on the town wearing clown masks, vandalizing, egging property, and just causing general chaos. Scene 10. At the hockey game, the Irish are losing 8-2 with 2 seconds left. Shots on goal are 42-12 for the other team. They're looking for any victory, no matter how small. So they ask the seniors to try some chirping. They start off slow. The player they're chirping doesn't seem to be bothered. So Riley and Jonesy's encouragement, they turn up the heat.
Come on, 2-7. You fucking seesaw sprinkling Sally! Skate! Yorkie, you think you're Chuck Galchenyuk? Nice microns, you fucking hipster dandy! Skate! Skate! Pussy! Fist.
What's wrong with you fucking cement boot, no legs, cupcake, cocksman? Skate! Boom down!
I hate you like I hate puck bunnies, bitch! Skate!
Oh, shit, fucking bird flip, buddy. I fucking love that move when I was in the 3rd grade. What else can you do, you ugly fuck? Can you suck my knob? You're a knob sucker, 27.
This finally gets a reaction from number 27, who turns around to flip them the bird. The game ends in horrible defeat, but the Irish cheer as if they've won. Scene 11, the Hicks are walking to Modean's 2. Derry is still playing the Would You Rather. This time it's Would You Rather be surrounded by 3 bed bugs every night of your life or 3 mosquitoes every day of your life. They arrive at
mosquitoes.
Yeah, I don't know.
I agree.
I've never experienced the bed bugs.
Yeah, me neither. So I know.
I sadly have many moons ago.
Oh, really?
Yeah, when I lived in an old apartment in downtown Toronto. Yeah. So I can tell you, mosquitoes.
Mosquitoes.
All right.
Okay, we'll take your word for it.
We're all on the list for it.
They arrive at Modean's 2 to find Jivin Pete and a group of degens. Jivin Pete says he hears they've been going around town saying he's full of shit and that he and his friends probably suck each other off. Wayne admits to it, looks very disappointed in himself for breaking his own rule.
I'm embarrassed this got to you before you heard it from me.
You should be.
I'm not the type of prick to take the side door. I'll come right up front and knock.
Good.
Knock, knock.
Who's...
You're at Jivin Pete's. I think you're full of shit and you and your pals think so much of yourselves you probably suck each other off.
Are you fucking serious?
What's anybody gonna do about it?
They square off and Wayne takes care of him with one punch, and then he forces Pete to apologize to Katie.
Say you're sorry.
I'm sorry.
Don't honk at girls. And don't holler at girls.
And don't talk to them when they're not interested in talking to you.
And don't talk to them unless they're interested in talking to you.
10-4.
Over and out.
Next scene, inside Modean's 2, everyone's having a good time. There's finally some sort of bar in town again. Gail is being her usual self, but this time Wayne gives her a kiss on the cheek. Derry hits the dance floor. Riley and Jonesy show up and catch Katie's eye. Squirrely Dan invites Gail to dance. Derry tries to get Bonnie McMurray to dance with him. Glenn is dancing and thinks he's caught the eye of Joint Boy and Tyson, only to find that they're eyeing a couple of women behind him. Riley and Jonesy ask Katie for a chance for a dance, and she joins them. And then Rosie arrives and joins Wayne for a dance, and we fade to black. So there you have it. That's the episode. Matt, initial thoughts.
I liked it. Mm-hmm. I didn't love it, but I liked it. There were some good moments. Again, I'm a huge fan of the cold open. I think that it's funny with this show because again, they're pretty short episodes. Mm-hmm. If you give me a good, solid cold open, I'll take that away and still be happy. And this was one of those ones. So, but I mean, aside from that, I think the story moved forward. I think what I'm continuing to enjoy, and I forgot about this season in particular, is the hockey players. Mm-hmm. I thought they come through a lot stronger this season. Riley and Jonesy stepping up, Shorzy back in there. Even the little circle jerk thing. I mean, it was funnier in this episode. Yeah, I mean, there were some good moments.
Yeah, Tanya?
So I have a question. Mm-hmm. I didn't quite get the whole seniors and them being taught how to
chirp.
Mm-hmm. Because chirp, 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 the whole first the beginning of when we were introduced to them, that's all they did was chirp.
But not in the same way Riley and Jonesy do it, right? They're
hazing.
They're hazing, yeah. Riley and Jonesy. So
what's the difference?
The difference is it's juvenile. Like what Riley and Jonesy are doing is juvenile and annoying. Annoying as hell. Like all they're doing is trying to get under your skin and annoy the hell out of you. The seniors are just putting you in your place.
Yeah.
And there's a difference there, and it's what Riley and Jonesy are doing is I think more immature than what the seniors are just.
Well, and the seniors were attacking their own team, like like you said, putting them in their place. Like
that's right.
We're in charge. Whereas Jonesy and Riley are like attacking the other team.
Yeah, that's right. So in the first time Riley and Jonesy joined the senior team, they're chirping other players, and the seniors are telling them to shut the hell up because they don't want Riley and Jonesy riling up the other players. And there's like a code there, right? They're too young. They're too much they're too schmelzy to be doing that. They haven't earned the right to chirp other older players.
All right. Yeah, I wasn't.
It's a fine distinction for sure. Yeah,
I was like, I don't get this. Why are they teaching them that when they already did it at the beginning and did it to them very well?
One's a civil war.
Yeah. Okay. Well, then, with that said, I actually like the Skids on this one. Mm-hmm. I love the banter. I love the introduction of Gay. Mm-hmm. I thought that the energy that the two of them had, and I even laughed. I found myself laughing at Rolled with his.
How can you not laugh at Rolled? He's so funny. He's over the top. He's so good.
I found that I actually kind of enjoyed that part, which it's got to be the first. I don't think other than Fart Book, when they actually contributed to their town or their whatever you want to call it. This was the first time that I kind of laughed at them and liked the banter and enjoyed it. I love the ending. I thought that was solid. I love, again, the relationship between Katie and Wayne. And I love how they stand up for each other. And I love how Wayne comes forward, and even his relationship with Gail, giving her a kiss on the cheek, even though she throws herself at him. Yeah. I thought it was really, really well done.
I think, again, we see these are people who've grown up with each other. And even though they chirp at each other and insult each other and do whatever, hit on each other like in gross, disgusting ways, in the end, they still love each other.
Yeah. And might I add, I was also very happy to see the models gone.
I was about to say that.
I was like,
you had to have been happy about that.
Yeah. No, very, very much so. Cause I just saw I saw no reason for them. There was like no storyline there. It was dead right from the get-go.
It was a little annoying.
I didn't enjoy that.
Although I kind of got a kick out of the Hicks joining in on their Tubby insults, like as they were walking out, like
I just thought it was stupid.
Tubble Dragon, and I knew you were Tubble. And, Anyway, Victor.
Sorry, the Skids for a second though. Did you notice when they were going around town doing their little vandalism scheme, the very first thing they did was correct one of the signs?
Yes, I saw that. Yeah.
On the camera. Yeah.
So even when they're being vandals and miscreants, they're still they're bothered by bad grammar and stuff. There's such.
I actually rewound it. Because I'm like, wait, I'm pretty sure that was right. They were correcting the grammar and I was dying, man.
Victor, what do you think?
Yeah. I enjoyed parts of it. I was a bit torn, back and forth. It was a good start. It was, juvenile a little bit, but it was still funny. I did not like the hockey story. I thought it was just a bit of a throwaway for me. The Skid story, I agree with Tanya's comments. The thing that just didn't make sense to me was that Gail just didn't seem like a kid. She seemed like in her 20s already. I don't know how old she's supposed to be, as a character. But the whole storyline, I'm going to be so bad that I'm going to be sent back to my parents. To me, just it seems, I don't want to break it down too much. It's just a TV show. But it's just that part to me doesn't make any sense. If you're such a badass, why do you even care about that stuff? You want to be sent back to your parents that you hate? That, it's just, I get, you're supposed to put your brain on a shelf a little bit, but it just, that part kind of made it, it just didn't close for me that way. And for me, the best part of this episode was the ending. In Modean's, it's just a feel good all the way. It's back. They're back. Even Gail's kind of not as crude as she was before. She's still crude, but not in a more lovable way. So it's all right.
And you had the return of Glenn.
And Glenn, I love Glenn, and this is the Glenn I love, right? So this is the Glenn from episode 3 of season 2. This is the Glenn I'm looking forward to seeing more of. So that's really good. I actually felt a little bad for him because everyone's kind of getting their chances, and here he is still all alone and feeling sad, and there wasn't really anything that resulted in any kind of. There weren't any comeuppance for him there, so I kind of felt a little bad there for him. But I love that song, so I'm gonna have to kind of you'll have to let me know if you know what song that is.
Yeah, you may hear it. Yeah, you may hear it at the end. And shame on you, Victor, for not knowing about the Produce Stand Spotify Letterkenny Spotify list.
I know about it, but I didn't check it out yet. I didn't check the.
That song is on the list.
Do my research,
and we will be.
Sure it is.
Yeah, we will be playing out on to that song because it is a good song. Let's see. I like the opening. It wasn't as strong as the other one, but it was, as far as cold opens go, it's up there. It's up there just because of Squirrely Dan and the whole the whole butts talk was hilarious. I enjoyed the Skids story. and the addition of Gay, I feel like that whole scene where she's introducing herself and they're questioning her about Devin is again the writers kind of letting the audience know, okay, this is Devin's replacement. Deal with it, kind of thing, right? Like I feel like again they were kind of talking to the audience, saying Devin's gone. This is his replacement. Move on. The hockey story is fine. Like I'm with you guys when it comes to the whole senior circle jerk, except for Boomtown. But this time they only did it once, and they actually make fun of it when Boomtown had the audacity of speaking out of turn that one time, and everyone's looking at each other and what the hell's going on, right? Like they were kind of breaking the fourth wall there when they did that. Shorzy is a favorite character by many. And the fact that he's back is to me is good news. I have a feeling maybe Tanya may not agree, although there's a lot of naked Shorzy scenes, and maybe you do agree with that.
That's not bad.
Maybe,
not bad.
Yeah, maybe too many. I don't know. But,
so I mean, overall, they packed a lot into this episode. Usually episodes are pretty breezy and quick. I found myself, getting clips for this episode going, man, there's a lot in this episode. They basically have 3 full storylines going in a 25-minute episode or whatever. And they weren't like, none of them were commercial breaks. They were all full blown storylines. So yeah, it was a dense episode. So yeah, I enjoyed it. So let's go to ratings. Matt, what do you give this one?
Yeah, I mean, I'll go right to the rating. So it's a clearance, that's a clearance for me on this one. It was, I was making sure, Danny, you did that one last week, right?
I did.
Yeah, it was fun. There was some real highs. I'd say there was a couple lows and a lot of in between. There was some key moments. Like I said, I love some of the little small details, like the sign, the correcting the grammar. I had the exact same reaction that Wayne had when Glenn walked out at the bar, where I didn't recognize him at first, and it actually took me a second until even he said Glenn. I'm like, oh shit, that is Glenn. So he
had the LASIK done.
What's that?
He had the LASIK done, and then he gives a little growl.
But it's like those small details that you catch and you appreciate it. So I mean,
so what lowered it from a fresh then?
Yeah.
No.
What took it down? What took it down?
I didn't laugh my ass off. And I think because, I mean, to me, this is still a comedy. Like I said, the cold open, I laughed I was giggling like an idiot. And then the rest of the time I enjoyed it, but I wasn't like, just begging for more. It was just, it carried the story along. So it was fine. And I mean, I want to be a little more critical now before I give those fresh ones, because I think I was giving them out like candy early on. And the show was great. So it's hard not to, but this one's a clearance for me on this one.
All right. Tanya?
Well, because Matt has given it a clearance, I shall give it a fresh.
There you go.
I had a feeling. Wow.
It didn't offend me.
We'll see what the scientific Twitter poll says.
There was nothing that offended me. I wasn't a fan of the hockey portion of it, but everything else, I was good with. I enjoyed. I'm gonna say I enjoyed it. So there you go.
The naked Shorzy made up for the hockey story.
It wasn't even the Shorzy part, because I'm not. Yeah, but it was just. It was a good story. Like everything everything worked.
All right. Great. I'm not gonna look afresh from Tanya in the mouth. Victor.
So this was 100% not a fresh. For me, I was kind of teetering between clearance and compost, and I'll tell you why. I enjoyed the opening, not as much as I would have wanted to. It was a little back to that again. So that's all right. But the only kind of thing I enjoyed until the ending, the last scene in Modean's, was just the would you rather banter. And it was just and even that, it was because they went to the well 3 times. But it for me, that anytime I get to hear Dan banter, for me that's a win. So I enjoy that. So there's kind of a bit of a personal thing, but just because it ends for me, it all lands on one scene, one really, really good scene, feel good scene. The boys are back, the pub is back, everyone's having a good time. That song, killer song, and for me, that scene pulls it to a clearance. But yeah, I was really teetering between compost and clearance.
I'm surprised. All right. I'm torn between fresh and clearance. So I'm going to see if I talk myself out of it or into it. So another thing that I really enjoyed about this that I didn't mention in my other comments, I love the look of disappointment in Wayne's face when he admits to breaking his own rule. Like when Jivin Pete confronts him and says, you guys have been talking shit behind my back. And Wayne looks like, damn it. Yes, I was. And I feel, and it's like a look of shame. He's like, you're right. I should be saying this stuff to your face. And then he proceeds to say it to his face. And then he proceeds to beat him up and make him apologize to his sister. That ending scene in the bar, I loved it. It's a feel-good scene. One of my favorite ending scenes probably in this series so far. The opening is great. So you know what? I've talked myself into it. It's going to be a fresh. It's going to be a low fresh because there's really nothing that I didn't hate about this episode. So I can't. There's nothing that would justify me not giving it a fresh. I thought there was a lot of funny. There was a lot of story. There was a lot of heart. Yeah. So it's a fresh. I just talked myself into a fresh.
All right. Well, you're the Howie of the group. That's all right.
It will be interesting to see what the polls say.
Yeah, let's see what the poll. I have a feeling because again,
this is a very different divide.
Shorzy is a very beloved character, and I feel like the polls are gonna because this is where Shorzy comes back, right? Like this is a return to Shorzy, and he plays a big part from now until the end. And so I feel like this is going to be a favorite episode for many, but we'll see. Does this dethrone anybody's top 5? I'll start with Matt.
No.
Tanya?
I think hold on, just really quickly. I mean, on the fresh rating thing, I'm like, I always have to think, I'm like, am I going to look back and remember this? And there's maybe a moment or two I might, but the episode overall will fall off. I'll remember maybe the Shorzy he was on it, but I'll remember the cold open.
The cold open, the Shorzy return of Shorzy, and that ending is strong enough for me. It's strong enough.
Maybe I watched the wrong ending because I mean I hear you guys and I love that you're passionate about it, but I think that fell off on me a bit.
Really? I loved it.
They do that sometimes, and maybe I don't know. Maybe I'm losing interest in those moments. I don't know what happens, but those musical slow motion approach. The only thing I did like though and the one thing that caught my eye was Wayne when he was dancing and what's it, Rosie? Is that her name?
Rosie? Yeah, shows up.
Walks over and he just starts dancing with her. I'm like, I was like, he's a class act, right? He just kind of grabbed her and went into so. There was some good things about it, but I mean
not even like Wayne giving Gail that kiss on the cheek. I thought that was a good moment there. Squirrely Dan inviting Gail to the dance floor. I mean, I thought so much of that and the music and just everything. So much about that ending was to me made it really strong. I'm with Victor 100% on that.
Fair enough.
So
except for Glenn, I felt bad for Glenn.
Well, you felt back for Glenn, but Glenn I think he's a tragic. He and I mean. I think Stuart's the big tragic figure on this show, but Glenn, I think, is one of those two because, I think he's destined to be alone on this show.
Yeah.
So that doesn't dethrone any of your top 5. Matt, Tanya?
I think I'll knock off number 5.
Oh, super soft birthday. Really?
I think so.
So this is Tanya's new number 5. Victor?
It's a hard one because no.
No, your top 5 is all fresh. So if this is a clearance for you, then
because I had to because I thought maybe there was a clearance in there, but no.
All right, and it won't knock off my top 5 either. I think my top 5 is pretty solid, and like I said, it's got to be a phenomenal episode to knock the ones that I have off. This one was good. This was just good. All right. let's move on to some listener comments. So I'm sad to say we got our first 1-star iTunes rating, and I'm going to read it now. The title is "Don't Think They Get the Show."
Bring it on.
1 star. I have listened to all the episodes of this podcast. In all, I feel these folks don't really like the show or the characters, so I'm out. And that's by Love Letterkenny 1.
So I'm an optimist, and all I'm hearing, because this just got posted, right? This is a newer.
I just saw it
review.
Today. I don't know when it got posted, but very recently.
I mean, so in all fairness, I mean, we're what, 15 episodes in?
More
this
than
person listened to every one of our episodes.
No, I know. Yeah. well done. I agree.
Is this a true COVID moment? Are people just running out of shit to do? And they're like, fuck it, I'll listen to something I don't like for 15 hours.
They're hate listening. Well, you know, they're listening for the train talk. Look, you can't please everybody, right?
Nope.
And I got the same thing that Matt got out of this. Like, wow. They actually listen to every single episode these aren't short episodes. These are over an hour each, and they've listened to every single one. So thank you. And I hope this person listens to this one, so that they know, like, if this is where they stop listening, I hope they know that we don't only read the good reviews. We will read the 1-star reviews.
And I think it's worth mentioning too, you are literally the biggest fan I think that's out there.
Yeah. Well,
because Alan, we were doing some Christmas shopping and he was all giddy and came to me and said, how about some Letterkenny stuff?
Yeah.
And he was like going through he's like, do you want a t-shirt? Do you want a this? Do you want a that?
I was on the Letterkenny site, and I'm looking at they've got a Letterkenny Irish hockey jersey, and I got all excited, and I'm like, I want one of those. It's like $130 or whatever. But
no, you really like them.
Yeah, absolutely.
really,
of course
really
I do. Well, I do, and so does Matt. And here's the thing. So, and we've said this from right at the beginning. Matt and I are fans. Tanya, not so much. I mean, the whole point of this podcast is that this isn't supposed to be a straight fan podcast. If you want that, go listen to How Are You Now? Like, I love Dean's podcast. It's great. I listen to it as well. They're fans. And when Dean comes on here to do the end of season reviews with us, and we ask him for his opinion, he's always giving the freshes. I mean, always. Like, I think
he gave one non-fresh.
Exactly. So I
didn't think it was
possible.
a
fan and not
begrudgingly.
And not exactly. I think he started feeling like, oh well, maybe I need to be more critical. So that's the thing. Like, the reason we did this is not so that we're straight like showering it with love. There's a little bit of, we're trying to be a little critical, and there's a little bit of conflict between Matt and I and Victor and Tanya. So to me, that makes it more interesting. But
when the unicorns happen,
it means that much more, I think. But to each their own, and you're entitled to your opinion. So all I have to say, and Matt, well, we all echo this. Thank you for listening. If you continue listening, great. If not, there's a lot of other Letterkenny podcasts out there you can listen to. Moving on, our buddy Redbeard decided to make us feel better. He said, been enjoying this podcast so much. Thank you, Redbeard. You are a good guy. Not to say that the Love Letterkenny 1 isn't a good person. They are too. And our buddy Jason Dean Cutler chimed in and said, happy Thanksgiving to my northern friends. Thank you, Jason, for listening and for the happy Thanksgiving. It's not our Thanksgiving, but we'll take it. And so those are all the comments I have. Just in the news, not news, I mean news to us. Our friend Crystal Schlesinger on the Twitter DM group, she she got a bunch of Letterkenny decals and stickers and decided she was going to share them with the people in the Twitter DM group. I received mine in the mail today. Matt, I think you did as well.
Yep. Yeah, I got mine. And actually, she commented, just so you know, she said, P.S. the stickers were called the Super Soft Birthday Pack.
Oh yeah.
Oh
yeah. So I got mine. I put one on my guitar case. I'll post pictures where Matt put his, where I put mine. I put one on the back of my car. So I'm proudly displaying my Letterkenny fandom.
I'm still waiting for the internets to get back to me on how to Twitter.
So Crystal, thank you so much. And Matt made the point, like, this is our our first actual mail from a listener. So that's kind of a thrill.
It made my day. It arrived and I just smiled, and it said right on, it said Crystal. And then and actually, they obviously can't see it, but on the envelope, it says Letterkenny on it. So when it arrived, I was like,
just so we knew who she was. I'm like, why am I getting a mail from Crystal? And so Tanya didn't see, going, who's Crystal?
Oh, come on.
No. Yeah, it's great. Yeah, I got the same thing.
Awesome.
Thank you, Crystal. And the other cool piece of news that just happened just before I logged on today. Tonight, so on Jeopardy tonight, apparently, here's what one of the clues was on Jeopardy tonight. Ontario locals in the comedy Letterkenny go to pracky, meaning practice for this sport. That was the clue, and the answer, of course, is what is hockey.
Good for them.
Yeah, and so there's a lot of excitement.
That's
like a lot of people
awesome.
posting, oh, look, Letterkenny was on Jeopardy, and it was read by Alex Trebek, because before he passed, he recorded a bunch of episodes before he passed. So this was one of them. And K. Trevor Wilson, for example, tweeted saying Alex Trebek actually said Letterkenny, and it was a one of those moments where, like, wow, like that's super cool.
Amazing.
So
awesome.
Yeah,
that's great.
A lot of fun. All right. So any kind of closing thoughts before I wrap things up here, Matt?
No, I think you covered most of it. I was going to comment on the stickers.
Yeah.
I was going to comment on the Jeopardy thing. I mean, the only difference, I didn't realize Trevor Wilson did it. I see it now.
Yeah.
Where I originally saw it was Billy Buttery, I think his name is. He's one of the camera ops for the show. So
I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah, so he's one of the camera ops for at least one of the seasons of the show. So anyways, that's where I saw that. I thought that was hilarious too, and I responded to him saying, "Well, what is hockey?" and put a Ferta fist bump there. And so I mean, it's been fun, and I mean, I'm always amused and continually impressed by the community behind this Letterkenny fandom. Like you said, we're not all diehard fans, even on this podcast, but we enjoy the show. We appreciate the people that are listening, and it's just fun to see it all come together. I mean, this DM group that we have, I can't fucking keep up with it.
That's great.
But there's some real diehard.
There was a lot of train talk this past week on the DM group.
I ignored most of that. So sorry for anyone who's new to the group. That's not all train talk, but it's fun, and people, it's staying light, and it's staying entertaining.
Yeah, for sure.
So it's everyone out there, keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah, and if anyone wants to join our our Letterkenny Twitter DM group, just shoot us a DM to the @ProduceStandPod. And I'll add you to the list, and you can join in the fun. There's been a lot of talk. What were we talking about this week? There was a bunch of talk about trains. I
had a food talk going for a bit there.
That's right. We were talking about food and making me very hungry. Talking about food. Our buddy Anthony Pacheco. I don't know where this was being talked about, but I thought it was only an Ontario phenomenon, but apparently it happened down in California as well. But have you ever been to a farmer's house in Ontario, and they've got that picture, an aerial photo of their farm?
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And somebody posted that going, oh my God, that must be a thing. I bet you somebody who had like a pilot's license,
now they do it with drones.
No, but I mean before, like this, I'm talking about like the 70s and 80s. Somebody had the bright idea of like, I'm up here anyway. I'm going to take pictures of these farms and then go and sell them to the farmers.
Yeah.
Because every farmhouse I've been to has a picture, an aerial photo of their farm. And it's like it's kind of like when you go to a theme park and they take a picture of you and your family when you first come in, and then they sell it back to you when you leave. It's like that, except for farmers.
Etsy farm shots.
Yeah. And Anthony posted a picture of his family's dairy farm. And I just found that amusing that we were talking about that. And then he's like, oh, I've got one of those pictures too. And he just posted it. So there you go. It's a thing. I didn't know. So anyway, Tanya, did you have any closing?
I must admit and say that more and more Letterkenny language is being spoke, and I'm referencing
We're
things
breaking her down.
and I'm laughing at things, and I find myself even emailing people at work and referencing back to a Letterkenny kind of comment and thinking, oh my God, it's happening. So you guys are wearing me down.
There you go.
Yeah. I can. Oh my God! I got yelled at by my wife the other day because I'm in conference calls all day, and at least 2 the other day. I started with a "How you now," and then on at least one occasion they asked for an answer on something, and my response was hard no. So,
well, at
like,
least
you need to stop.
At least your response wasn't "Wish you weren't so fucking awkward, bud."
Yeah,
or fucking embarrassing.
Yeah, or fucking embarrassing. Yeah, kick the trash can. Victor,
I think I could layer a pitter patter in there somewhere.
Oh, I say that all the time now too.
Oh, he does.
Oh,
It's that one's actually getting a little.
Yeah, Tanya
Stop.
gives me the stare
Okay.
down. Victor, any closing comments?
I don't know. I guess we went on for a little while already, but Matt, I like the poll on the foods. I think that was good for me. I can never choose. Bring it on. Jerk chicken, butter chicken.
Yeah.
Pulled pork, barbecue. Yes, everything.
Yes, yes.
Food.
Oh,
then I'm in.
Play that clip. Yes.
Yeah, I don't.
Oh yeah.
By the way, and I got a kick out of this. Trevor Risk, who's one of the writers in later seasons of Letterkenny, posted how he loves eating bifanas. Now, Tanya knows what that is. I know what that is. They're awesome. I so miss bifanas. So it's Portuguese. They're basically.
You know what though? The secret to bifanish is that if your spouse has one, you must have one, or else you cannot go near them. The garlic is absolutely so potent that the person is just
so
like,
good. Basically, they're is it veal or pork? I forget. They're pork chop sandwiches. So good.
Oh my god.
Very garlicky,
ridiculously good.
So good. But
Some
anyway,
onion in there. Talk about your cup of fart. I'm telling you, after the aftermath of them is pretty intense. But oh my god, yeah, so good.
The food talk was great, and that's the other good thing about that Twitter DM group. It is very international. We have people and folks from Australia in there, from the U.S., from Canada. I think somebody from we have.
We need to get more people
Ireland.
with Massachusetts so that you can.
So I can get better at saying Massachusetts.
You practice.
That's right. Oh yeah, we were talking about egg pizza as well.
Oh yeah, egg on pizza, and I said I had pizza once with peas on it, which really threw Matt off.
Peas?
What the fuck was that? Yeah, he's
I
right.
had seafood pizza on the East Coast, so there's that.
Even that's but peas is such a simple thing. I wouldn't even think it would be bad. It just seems wrong.
Oh, you should have breakfast pizza.
Wrong.
Breakfast pizza is lovely.
Yeah.
Unless it's chili pizza, I can imagine.
Chili pizza, that would just be soggy and gross.
Well, no, you're doing it wrong.
You're doing it wrong. Even when I order nachos at the grocery store, at the restaurant, see, this is how long it's been that we've ate outside at the grocery store. I would always ask for chili on the side. It just makes everything soggy and no.
There's a place where you can go where they dress each individual nacho separately. So instead of having a dish full of goop, you have a giant dish like the size of a table where there's like a perfect round nacho with a little chili on it and a little sour cream and a little guac. It's brilliant.
Talk dirty to me, Victor.
That sounds pretty good.
That's lovely, right there.
Yeah.
Anyway,
it's off menu though. You have to order it off.
Feels like the Oscars, and Al's slowly playing us off.
No, I thought I'd add some. I thought I'd add some mood music to the food talk here, but I am playing that song that Victor alluded to, and the song used in the last scene of this episode. The song is called "It Always Happens This Way," and it's by a band called Toulouse. And it's a great song. It's a sweet sounding song. It starts off in French, but I think in the chorus it switches to English, and I can just see Wayne.
It reminds me of another song.
Well.
Yeah.
What is the song?
It's got a familiar sound.
It does.
Sounds great though. Anyway, that's all we have for this episode. Next week, we review and recap episode 4 of season 3, Les Hicks. In the meantime, don't forget to give our sponsor, DG Pop Customs, some love. You can follow him on Facebook and Instagram at DG Pop Customs. On Twitter, he's Dennis Gugin, and he's a good guy. He's a really good guy. Oh, and by the way, I mean, we're halfway through this season. If anyone wants to be a sponsor for season 4, hit us up. We can chat. Hit me up on Twitter and DM, and we can work something out. It seems to be working for Dennis, so maybe it could work for you too. Please rate us on iTunes if you like the show. If you want to give us 1 star, go ahead. As long as you're listening, we welcome you. Follow us on Twitter at Produce Stand Pod. Thanks for joining us. Now we're going to do some Black Friday shopping. On behalf of Matt, Victor, Tanya, and myself, thank you for listening and have a great week.